Hello students, welcome to InfoSphere. Today we will talk about following topics. First, need to stop second peak, PM to states. Second, Ambani bomb scare blows up in Mumbai police chief's face. Third, the bribe that couldn't reach voters. Fourth, can you get ration without Aadhar? Fifth, in Japan, court backs the right to same-sex marriage. Need to stop second peak, PM to states. A day after India recorded its highest number of fresh COVID-19 cases this year, at over 28,900, Prime Minister Narendra Modi told chief ministers that the rise in cases in some states could lead to a national outbreak of the disease and quick and decisive steps are needed to prevent an emerging second wave of the infection. In a virtual interaction, Modi referred to a couple of states like Telangana and Andhra Pradesh where more than 10% of the shots were going waste. He said this meant persons needing the shots were being deprived. On Wednesday, India reported its highest death toll, 188, on a daily basis since January 15 and the highest net increase, new cases minus recoveries, of COVID-19 cases, 10,974, since September 17 last year. In the last 7 days, India recorded more than 1.76 lakh new cases and now accounts for 1 in every 88 active cases plus 1 in every 17 deaths globally. Warning that India's health infrastructure could be overwhelmed if the pandemic spreads to the villages, Modi called for increasing testing in smaller cities as the virus seemed to be spreading faster in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Health experts and a parliamentary panel has raised concerns about the laggardly pace of vaccination. A group of experts from the fields of public health, law and medicine, among others, have called out the government for not sharing data about adverse events following immunization, FE, after February 26, saying that while 65 deaths have occurred since vaccination started, the National FE Committee has made reports of only 2 deaths public. Ambani bomb scare blows up in Mumbai police chief's face. Amid the ongoing row over the alleged involvement of Senior Inspector Sukinvez in the Ambani bomb scare case, the Maharashtra government on Wednesday shunted out Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh, in PIC, from the top post in the city police, replacing him with Senior Indian Police Service, IPS, Hemant Nagral. The latter was given the additional charge of Director General of Police, DGP, Maharashtra in January this year. Singh has now been made the Director General of Home Guards, announced State Home Minister Anil Deshmukh on Twitter. Singh, a 1988 batch IPS officer, took charge of the office in Mumbai, taking over from Sanjay Bav on February 29, 2020. And his removal comes after the ruling coalition Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi had to face embarrassing moments with the arrest of Vaiz, attached to the Crime Intelligence Unit of Mumbai Police's crime branch till recently, by the National Investigation Agency, NIA, on March 13. Vaiz has been remanded to the NIA custody till March 25. NIA investigations suggested that Vaiz was behind the placing of an explosives-laden vehicle near Mukesh Ambani's residence Antilla, which he orchestrated on February 2 as part of a conspiracy to restore his reputation as a successful cop. He's also being investigated for links to the death of Thane-based businessman Mansukh Haran, who was in possession of the stolen Scorpio SUV parked near Antilla. The state government's assessment was that Singh's handling of the investigation into the bomb scare and the death of Haran was patchy. And the decision to move Singh out of the top job was taken at the meetings held over the last 2 days to control damage.
The bribe that couldn't reach voters. Seizures made as part of the Election Commission's expenditure monitoring process for ongoing assembly poll campaigning have already surpassed the figures for 2016 elections in these states, with cash, liquor, drugs, freebies and precious metals worth 331 rupees crore seized till March 16, against 226 rupees crore seized in 2016. As per data put out by EC of cumulative seizures made in the 5 poll-bound states, cash totaling 89.48 rupees crore, liquor worth 28.93 rupees crore, drugs worth 75.67 rupees crore, freebies worth 48.52 rupees crore and precious metals worth 88.87 rupees crore were recovered by the law enforcement agencies, special surveillance teams and flying squads between announcement of polls and March 16. The total cumulative seizures in Tamil Nadu were the highest at 127.64 rupees crore, followed by West Bengal at 112.59 rupees crore, Assam at 63.75 rupees crore, Kerala at 21.77 rupees crore and Puducherry at 5.72 rupees crore. While Tamil Nadu accounted for the highest cash seizures at 50.86 rupees crore, 56% of total cash seizures, West Bengal topped in seizures of drugs, worth 47.4 rupees crore, constituting 62% of total seizures, and freebies, worth 29.42 rupees crore. Assam reported the highest seizures of liquor, valued at 17.25 rupees crore. Distributing cash and gifts during the electoral process comes under the definition of bribery, an offence both under 171B of IPC and under RP Act, 1951. Can you get ration without Aadhar? Saying that it was too serious a matter, the Supreme Court on Wednesday asked the Union government to respond to allegations in a pill that nearly 3 crore ration cards across states were cancelled because of not being linked with Aadhar and claimed that it was leading to starvation deaths in many states. The apex court's directions to the center came on a plea filed by Koili Devi, mother of an 11-year-old girl, who allegedly died of starvation on September 28, 2017 in Jharkhand. The plea claimed that lack of internet services led to non-seeding of ration cards with Aadhar details in tribal and remote areas, which resulted in cancellation of ration cards, depriving the poor of their food grain quota under the public distribution system. This has led to starvation deaths in Jharkhand, UP, Odisha, Karnataka, MP, Maharashtra, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and other states, the petition claimed. The center said it was implementing the SC judgment which had directed the government that non-verification of ration cards with Aadhar details would not lead to denial of ration to poor and that the petitioners' claim that ration cards were cancelled because of non-seeding with Aadhar details was false. In Japan, court backs the right to same-sex marriage. A milestone. A Japanese court Wednesday ruled the government's ban on same-sex marriages is unconstitutional, a judgment that rights activists hope would influence similar pending lawsuits and nudge the government to change its policy. Japan legalized gay sex as early as in 1880 but does not recognize same-sex marriage. Under Japanese law, marriage should be based on the mutual consent of both sexes, with equal rights of husband and wife as basis. The government says this precludes same-sex marriages. Many Japanese municipalities have enacted partnership ordinances for same-sex couples, but they are not legally binding, preventing them from inheriting their partner's houses, property, and other assets, or have parental rights to any children. Wednesday's ruling does not mean an immediate change to the government policy, but could influence decisions on other lawsuits pending and prompt calls for the government to change the law. Zoom out. Taiwan is the only Asian country to recognize same-sex marriage. Globally, 30 countries and territories have enacted laws allowing gays and lesbians to marry, mostly in Europe and the Americas.